Ladies and gentlemen, back at the Airbnb, sponsored by Kalshi. Appreciate the Airbnb, Kalshi. This is just unbelievable. Obviously, we got the turf pool behind us after the pod. Going to be having a blast, drinking all day. Surfsides, you know the deal, right?
Always.
Okay, but no, we're back. Seriously, this is our first post-season NFL podcast. So, we're still going to talk a little NFL today, but
Sure.
we're going to talk some NBA. NBA is in full swing. We got the Olympics going on. Sports are not dead. Just because the NFL is done, sports are not dead. Some MLB stuff as well. So
That's right.
You're going to get a lot. Me and Andy are back. Today is going to be a big day. Andy, what are we starting off with today?
Yeah, I mean, we're back in the lawn chairs, back to talking NBA because it's NBA All-Star Weekend. And, yeah, there's a lot to get into. I mean, we've had a ton of talk about how none of the players are trying in the All-Star game. What can we do to fix this NBA All-Star game? Kevin Durant chimed in. He chimed in saying, I think it's the fat, white European players. They're the issue. He singled out Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. He said, these guys aren't putting in a speck of effort. So, I mean, fingers pointed, shots fired. What's wrong with the NBA All-Star game? Why can't these guys play hard for 48 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of incentives involved, right? These players are now making like $250 million contracts. That's $250 million. So to risk injury in an apparently meaningless game, it's just the calculation doesn't add into it anymore. Now, what these players are taking for granted versus what the NBA players who kind of built this entire league up to where it is they've forgotten their fans. The players have completely forgotten their fans. They don't give a shit about their fans anymore. All they care about is the money. And it's not that I blame them, but there is something broken with the core of the NBA that these guys can't get up and give a performance that the fans deserve. They don't give a shit, and frankly, it's disappointing. You talk to NHL guys understand that even though they're not getting paid, even though the game is meaningless, they have pride in the games. So you saw, the international tourney that the NHL did. It was USA versus Canada. There were 3 fights in the first minute of the game. There was passion. People were glued to the television for those games. And the NBA, back in the day, Michael Jordan competed in the dunk contest. These NBA games really meant something. Right now, it is a disaster. Anthony Edwards was asked, what can we do? Is there anything that's going to go on to make the players, or is this just going to be status quo? He said, yeah, it's going to be status quo. He wasn't even hiding it anymore. So the players don't give a shit. Adam Silver is so worked up right now with teams tanking as well. The NBA is in absolute disarray right now. I feel like no one's even watching it this season. The stars of the past are now really old, and the new stars are just frankly boring. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is boring. Luka Doncic is boring. I mean, the NBA is in dire straits, if you ask me right now.
Yeah. The All-Star game, it kind of sums the whole thing up. It's like there's no sport where the athletes just outwardly do not give a shit about the fans like the NBA. Like, do any of your favorite athletes actually care about you as the fan? No. But the NBA players, they can't even hide it. They do a terrible job of hiding it. It's like, why do you think you're getting over $1 million per game for these max contracts? It's because fan interest is through the roof, but they view the fans as just some type of nuisance. I just wish we'd go back to 10, 15 years ago when at least the fourth quarter, or even the final 5 minutes of the game, they would play a little bit hard. The fact that everyone just clears out on defense, I mean, I think watching the layup line is more interesting than this All-Star game. It's honestly so insulting. I think they should kind of just do away with the whole thing, the way they've sort of doing that with the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I agree. But, the other thing to think about, right, is all of the international interest in basketball, it almost just widens the fan pool so large that they really don't care about the avid fan anymore. Then, Adam Silver has said it, NBA is it's a soundbite league. It's a clip league. It's a dunk league. It's a highlight league. And the fact is the product that's on the floor doesn't really matter to them anymore. It just doesn't. There's enough star power and social media presence across the globe that these specific games or outcomes mean absolutely nothing to the bottom line. And until these players and owners start to recognize that the sport is drifting away from its core fan base, there won't be anything that changes. And it's really sad, and I frankly hope the NFL doesn't get too much like the NBA here, because, you hear with all these international games slated for the NFL, that's a home game that's taken away from these NFL cities. And a lot of these NFL cities, they only get 8 days a year. to go and root for their team at their home game, and a lot of people look forward to it all year long. And so we are seeing now in major sports the core fan base getting ignored and them just to try to spread out as wide as possible to just get clicks online. And it's honestly, frankly, sad. I feel like at some point there will be a gap in the market for a true sports league to come in and care about the fans again. You know, I brought this up to someone I was talking to the other day, the owner of the Savannah Bananas. If you listen to him speak, his number one thing that he says he cares about, it's not the revenue, it's not the money, it's the fan experience. And that's how you've seen someone in Savannah, Georgia, build up a multi-billion-dollar organization and basically invented an entire new league of baseball with rabid fans that sell out NFL stadiums. And so you can see that there is a niche out there for fans and these leagues to actually care about the fans, and the fans respond very well. Look at the Savannah Bananas as an example, but I will be interested to see if the kings of the court, the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, does it even really matter? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just hard to take the NBA seriously when I feel like the players at every turn just tell you that they don't even take their job all that seriously. I mean, they're just missing a ton of regular season games. It's like, how can I think a regular season game in February means anything if the star player is going to sit out? They act like, oh, whatever, we'll just make the play in. It's I think Adam Silver is frankly doing a terrible job. It's like this guy, he wanted to be too buddy-buddy with the players, and now the players have way too much power. And last night, I said something that probably no one has ever said before. You know, we had some drinks during the day, got home kind of early, and I just said, you know what? I kind of want to turn on some NBA All-Star Saturday.
Sure.
And it was about 9:45 p.m. Eastern. It was over. There was nothing on TV. The entire event had come and gone. I opened up ESPN. I found out, I don't know, some guy I've never heard of with the Heat had won the dunk contest. Apparently it happened at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's like, is the NBA even trying anymore?
No, they've given up. And I mean, the NBA game is in LA too. I mean, this is where the stars shine, man. And, you know, you had Jackson Hayes in the dunk contest as well.
Joke.
I mean, the guy just did a normal dunk. I mean, it is sad to see the decline of, you know, Michael Jordan with his iconic Air Jordan dunk moment to these guys just not even giving a shit in their backups. And we got freaking McClung in every single slam dunk contest.
Well, he was exiled from this one. The one guy who actually cares to put on a show, he was
yeah, exactly.
He was shadow banned.
And so I don't know, man. I think the NBA is in dire straits. And if you're an NBA fan out there, you've got to be asking yourself, do we miss David Stern? Do we miss David Stern? Is Adam Silver just a spineless, skinny bitch? Because it does seem like that.
Yeah. I mean, other than the whole fixing games things, I mean, yeah, life with David Stern was pretty fun. But,
yeah.
Yeah, another idea that Adam Silver he's brought to the table is this, you know, he's trying to prevent tanking. It's this tanking lottery type thing. It's not tanking lottery. It's tanking tournament.
Sure.
So instead of just throwing all the bottom teams into a lottery, what about a tournament for the top pick amongst the bottom 4 teams? And it sounds cool on the surface, but I don't understand how this could work. Like, if the players don't give a shit about playing regular season games now, how motivated are they going to be to play in a game where you're looking for a high pick who's going to replace one of those guys? I mean, I feel like no chance the star player would play in this tournament.
Well, there's several things, right? I mean, not only that, but you got to look at all these guys who are on these teams that are on the bubble, right? Looking at making these play-in games where they really know they have no shot to win the championship. These guys would be, actually the superstars on those teams would be very motivated to lose, not go into the play-in games, and then get in this lottery tournament to get a better pick that can actually transform them. Because the NBA is a weird sport where really it's usually like the top 6 picks that actually matter, and then everyone else is kind of meaningless in terms of changing an organization from the ground up. So I think that tournament idea needs to absolutely go away quick. I think it incentivizes the owners and these players who are kind of mid-tier bubble teams for the play-in to absolutely just tank right at the end even worse. And you got to think of it to its core. The teams that actually need the picks are going to lose these tournaments every single time. And so they're just going to continue to stay bad. And that's just not what the NBA wants overall. So I don't know what they got to do, But I think it comes down to, I think you need to eliminate draft picks and all. If you've caught tanking purposely, draft pick gone. Then suddenly changes the equation. I think these players need to be heavily fined personally, not just the organizations and teams. And we just got to have some accountability. The NBA Players Association and Adam Silver need to meet in the offseason. They got to figure this shit out.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what I do with the NBA. It's like, I think the play-in was a lot of things that Adam Silver introduced have been huge mistakes. Like, I could not care less about the in-season tournament. I don't think anyone does. It's kind of looked at as a joke. If anything, also the time of year is off. They have it in early December because it's kind of a downtime for basketball. They're trying to get some eyes on it when football's going on. I feel like right now would be the time to do it. Like right after the All-Star break, maybe in place of the All-Star break, do a little tournament because no one will play in the damn All-Star breaks. So maybe, I don't know, maybe for some type of All-Star tournament. At least right now is a dead time in sports between the Super Bowl and March Madness. December, that's the last thing I'm thinking about.
100%.
It's like we're looking at NFL teams trying to wrap up divisions, fight for playoff seeding. It's just like, oh, who's in the in-season tournament? I can't remember who played in it. So I think the Knicks won. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, who cares?
Another thing I thought was, also the play-in is terrible. The play-in is awful. It's like there were already way too many playoff spots in the NBA. There were 8. Now there's effectively 10. Like the fact that you can be the 20th best team in a 30-team league and get in the tournament is a joke. It's just like, it's already too many games. Way too many teams get in this. How can you possibly think a regular season game in March means anything if you just have to not be in the bottom third to get in the tournament? Like, if you're going to be in the bottom third, you have no business winning the whole thing anyways.
100%. And I think, how you fix that is you just make it 6 best teams in each conference, make the playoffs, and then you just have an unbelievable playoffs. But this whole 10 teams in each conference, it's a joke. Those play-in games are frankly boring. I do love a good NBA series in the playoffs. When there's storylines, star players, but I feel like right now, with how much money these players are making, I don't even really think they care even if they win a championship anymore. It seems like this weird new culture of players that are coming in, they don't even really give a shit about winning. They're just more concerned with themselves and their salary and staying healthy. And that's all they give a shit about.
Yeah, it's pretty insufferable. I mean, I look forward to the playoffs every year. It's always a good watch, but I don't know. It's this new wave of NBA players just absolutely insufferable and just no personalities.
I agree. We need star power, and the NBA will die if it relies on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to lead this entire charge for the NBA. The guy's boring. Luka, as much as I like the guy, he just can't be the face of the league. I mean, the guy can barely work out in the offseason.
Yeah. I think Luka's entertaining just because he's always having a meltdown on the court, like wants to smack the ref in the face. So it's like that's almost the entertainment factor with Luka. But yeah, some of these new wave players, it's like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even like I love watching Victor Wembanyama, but they're all just like very unproblematic, quiet characters. I don't know. That's why I think Anthony Edwards will be the face of the league. I mean, the guy is hilarious, even if he doesn't fully take his job seriously.
No, he is hilarious, but I think, just looking even in the games themselves as to why it's so hard to watch regular season games is the amount of flopping and just ticky-tack foul calls and just people shooting free throws is kind of insufferable. And every single time an NBA player gets touched, they complain to the refs. And I think if they just eliminated this complaining, they just gave them instant technical fouls every time they complained to a ref, you would see that eliminated immediately, and it would be a way more smooth and watchable game. But right now, it is tough for me to watch a full regular season game without just getting frustrated in the middle of it or fall asleep.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. NBA is a tough spot. But one thing that was fun, I think a lot of people feel that the highlight of the All-Star weekend is the celebrity game. And I had a good laugh looking at the roster the other day. So I was just going to go down the roster with you and see if you are familiar with who these people are. Because
yes, let's do it.
I starting to realize maybe this isn't for me. So one thing I thought was hilarious, the coaches on, I guess it's the East team. It was Giannis and his 2 brothers, Alex and Thanasis, as well as Mookie Betts. So that was the coaching staff.
Okay.
Team Antetokounmpo. All right, the players in the game, Jenna Bandy. Do we know who that is?
Don't know who that is.
I have no idea who that is. Shams Charania.
That's the Twitter guy.
Right?
Yeah.
He did not play well in the game.
I think, wasn't there a video of Giannis smacking him in the head, too?
It sounds about right.
Okay.
Well, he also was like, he's like, this guy can't play.
Right,
He
right.
can't play for shit. Just like stick to Twitter.
Yeah, horrible.
Taco Fall.
Well, is that the 7'7" guy
It
from
is.
UCF?
Which people say he kind of ruined the game. He was trying too hard. Like he was just being 7'7",
But also, like,
getting layups.
I feel bad. Shouldn't he like be in the NBA? Like,
It is kind of weird.
It's sad.
No, it is sad when like a former player who was playing like as recently as like a few years ago is in it playing against.
He's like younger than
YouTuber.
Giannis, probably.
He's
That's
just
sad.
Like, yeah, he's like, what did I do to be
And
playing
if
in a
he's
game
trying
with
in it, that's
shams?
even more sad.
It is tough. All right, Rome Flynn.
No idea.
I don't know who that is. Keegan Michael Key.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
P and Keel.
Jeremy Lin was in it as well.
Okay, again, like not a celebrity. That's just a player.
Rick Schnall.
Don't know who that is.
I don't know him. What about Dylan Wang?
Don't know Dylan
That
Wang.
sounds made up. Amon-Ra St. Brown was in the game.
Okay,
It's kind of cool.
that's fair.
I like the athletes in other sports. Cafu.
I don't even know if that's a movie that's coming out or a player. What does that mean?
It's CAFU.
Okay.
Cafu.
No idea.
And Glorilla.
Again, unfortunately, I do know Glorilla. She's a rapper.
Okay.
From Atlanta. I saw her
Gotcha.
on Hustle and Flow on Netflix, and she's a very, very interesting person. Very well spoken, though. Very well
Okay.
spoken.
All right. Well, that sounds exciting. And then that was just one of the teams. The other team, coached by Anthony Anderson.
Right. Don't
That-
know who that is.
I think he's an actor. Lethal Shooter is one of the coaches.
Okay, I've seen him on Instagram. But
Okay,
I mean, like obscure still.
Chris Brickley.
No
Is that a
idea.
former player? I can't remember who that is. I think that might be a former NBA player. All right.
That's what they should name Chris Paul.
How's it going? And players? Bad Shah.
No idea.
Cody Jones?
No idea.
I don't know. These people. What about Andre DeGrassi?
Is that Drake's character in Degrassi? I don't know.
I was
no
thinking
idea.
like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
I'd like to
could
see him in
be.
the celebrity game.
Yeah.
Matt Ishbia.
No idea.
Well, he's the Suns owner, and he actually played half decent.
He's
Like,
the Suns owner?
Yeah, he
oh,
actually
that's kind
like
of cool.
he looks like he can ball. Like he
Okay.
hit a shot
I
over.
like that.
Was it over? No, it was over.
Talk about pay
Taco
for
Fall.
play.
Simbu Liu.
That's not a real name.
Oh, sorry, Simu Liu. S-I-M.
No, that's still not a real
no,
name.
it's still not. That's what I love. Just mustard.
Of course. Everybody knows mustard.
So it's like that's.
Best friends with ketchup.
It's-
This
yeah,
is the worst
it's-
lineup of all time.
So this is like that's the guy who used to go by DJ Mustard, the producer. But I like how now it's just mustard.
But also,
someone reading this, it's like, who's on the team? Mustard.
but if you said DJ Mustard, I wouldn't have made me know him anymore.
That's hilarious. I just think I'm just picturing like our parents reading this. It's like,
Is there
who's on the
anyone
team?
else on these
Oh,
teams?
then we have Adrian Nunez.
Don't know.
What about Taylor Frankie Paul?
No, I don't know Taylor Frankie Paul.
We have White Chocolate, Jason Williams.
Okay,
That's a good one.
yeah.
Keenan Allen.
From
Keenan
Keenan
Allen.
and Kel?
Exactly.
Oh, no,
Exactly,
okay.
from the Chargers. And then what about Nicholas Van Steenberg?
I thought that was the guy who died recently.
I feel like someone is playing a joke on me. I'm like,
Okay.
there's no way this.
All I can
Who
think,
the hell
all
are
I
these
can
people?
hope for is that Andy looked that up on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was just having hallucinations, and that list isn't real. Like, what happened to the good old days when it was Justin Bieber versus LL Cool J, 1-on-1 to see who's going to win the Celebrity All-Star Game? Now we have Sifu Wanlu against Jeremy Lin and Taco Fall just batting balls out of the air, being 7'10". This is just sad where the NBA has gotten, to be honest.
Well, it's almost like imagine if you were a somewhat famous person and you really wanted to play in the game. They're like, sorry, bud. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to squeeze you in. Like, we got
Yeah.
a loaded lineup for this year.
Yeah, like, sorry, Kai Cenat is like our starting point guard now. But it kind of gives me hope that maybe the Lawn Chair Sports Boys might be in the Celebrity All-Star Game sooner than we think.
You just never know.
You
I
just
mean,
never know.
You know, sometimes things are more attainable than you might realize.
Yes.
So, I don't know. That's it for the NBA All-Star Weekend. You know, we haven't really talked much NBA in this program. Like we did at the very start of the season. We did our
Right.
NBA preview. We're like, yeah, NBA. But I feel like the NFL season was just such a banger. It's
was.
like, how could we keep our eyes off it? But one thing we've totally forgot to do, we forgot to give our finals predictions.
Okay.
So, whatever. Let's just do it with 24 games left at the All-Star break. Also, I'm glad we didn't do it at the beginning of the season because whatever the hell I was going to say was going to be dog shit.
Garbage.
So, it probably still will be, but I have better information now.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did pick it, but...
I think we picked our top seeds, but not necessarily
okay.
finals.
All right. Yeah, I think... Well, I'll let you go first.
Yeah. I think I think it's 2005 all over again because I'm going with the San Antonio Spurs over the Detroit Pistons.
Ooh.
I think Wemby has got the Spurs looking real good. They're number 2 in the West right now. And, yeah, Oklahoma City, they're still at the top. They look vulnerable, and the Spurs have their number. They've beaten them 3 times. I don't think anyone in the league has an answer for Wemby. I don't know. And out East, nobody's given the Pistons their credit. They're the number 1 seed. All the talks about the Knicks. Can the Celtics make a run? I hope they can, but what about Detroit? Let's not sleep on the top seed here.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting call, but I think you're undervaluing one big thing, and that's experience in the playoffs. And I have 2 juggernauts going at it. I'm going to have the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals this year. I think the Celtics, have they hit their full speed yet? Absolutely not. But you look at a team from top to bottom of people who have been there, done that. The Celtics just feel like that team to me. And I think come the playoffs, they're going to be a tough team to beat in a 7-game series. I think the East is weak. I do not trust Detroit. I never will until they prove me otherwise. They just are going to always be the Detroit Pistons post Ben Wallace to me. And Oklahoma City, they haven't been playing their best, but I'll tell you what, they're a damn good basketball team. And Wemby, let's see if he can even stay healthy down the stretch here through the playoffs, because without Wembanyama, the Spurs are just ho-hum at best.
Oh, yeah, no. They're not doing any of this without Wemby. And that's kind of been the story since he came in the league. It's like, if he can stay healthy, I mean, knock on wood, the guy's been pretty healthy throughout his career.
Sure.
Like, he just looks so wiry. You think of other lanky guys like that, and he just has injury written all over him, but he's been pretty durable. Also, I mean, he's kind of in his, like, just no fucks given mode. Like, he's, like, shaving his head. He's looking like a monk. Like, he's doing crazy offseason workouts. Like, he is ready to just dominate this league for years to come. So, and I know Oklahoma City is a phenomenal team, but we're just in an era where nobody's going back-to-back. In fact, the defending champion keeps getting knocked off in the second round or earlier. So, I don't know. They got off to such a hot start. It's been rocky in the middle of the season. It's just, there's a human element to it, and it's just so hard if you play deep into June to come back the next season with the same motivation. I don't know. I think the Spurs could be the team that takes out OKC.
Yeah, but see, you're a stats guy, right? And so I hear all this, there's no more repeats. Then you give the stats. Well, you tried that in the Patriots game, and it didn't go too well for you. So, no, I disagree. It's going to be a repeat. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be known as the best player in the league, despite Wemby, despite Luka. This guy is just a consistent workhorse down the stretch. He knows how to get to the foul line. That matters in the playoffs. And he can play defense. This Thunder team from top to bottom is just a roster that everyone else in the league envies. So I think until further notice, they're the best team in the league.
Yeah, another team I strongly consider, though, was also the Denver Nuggets. I feel like they're rock solid. They made a great trade in the offseason. They got rid of Michael Porter Jr., brought in Cam Johnson. Wemby looks like not Wemby. What the hell's his name? Jokic looks like an MVP again.
Sure.
Even though he's missed some time. I don't know. They've done it before. It just feels right.
Well, I think everyone clearly got a break because no one was trying during the All-Star game. So, hey, let's see what the second half brings, man.
Yeah, I'm fired up for it. It's like I can do 2 months of NBA regular season.
Me
That's
too.
about the cap. And I love the playoffs.
I do.
Playoffs will be phenomenal.
I do like NBA playoffs a lot. I will say
especially once you get to like round 2. It is. I mean,
it's fun time. It's a good time to watch a game. Also, those games don't last as long as NFL games, so it's kind of an easier watch at night. If you're just trying to stay up for 2.5, 3 hours instead of 5 hours. So that is nice.
Yeah, very true. So that's all I had on the NBA. So definitely expect us to be talking more of the association, as we get down the stretch of this regular season. All right. I did have some baseball stories to get into.
Let's do it.
So spring training, it's just ramping up. Pitchers and catchers are reporting. Games don't start for a couple weeks, but we just had some funny baseball stories to get to. This is a story from 2018, but it came to light recently. And on a Red Sox podcast, Section 10 podcast, former Red Sox player Brock Holt, he dropped a story that Hanley Ramirez in 2018 with the Red Sox apparently jokingly threatened a mass shooting towards his Red Sox teammates when they were down here in Tampa playing the Tropicana Field. And he was kind of mysteriously designated for assignment and released the next day. And it came out of the blue because he was hitting 300, off to a hot start. Team was killing it. No one really knew what happened with Hanley Ramirez. But it sounds like we got our answer. He just looked Brock Holt right in the face and said, I think I'm going to bring my gun tomorrow. I'll probably shoot all of you, but starting with you. And guys were freaked out. They were like, we know you're probably kidding, but hey, can't be joking about mass shootings.
Yeah, that's
the Red
tough.
Sox cut bait. They moved swiftly. They said we can't have people joking about mass shootings. So wild story to come out. I mean, if kind of an 8-year-old mystery finally gets an answer.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. Handgun Ramirez, he was one of the best players the Red Sox had that year, and I didn't know why the hell they got rid of him, but it makes a lot of sense. Now, did I think he threatened the entire Boston Red Sox with a mass shooting? No, I didn't think that's what happened. I figured he probably just had a partying problem or a drug problem, but I would wonder if this guy has baseball CTE, because that is a wild thing to say. I mean, I don't even think Aaron Hernandez, also a Boston guy, I don't think he was threatening the Patriots for mass shootings, just people in Florida that he was friends with.
Yeah. No, it's a crazy story. I think it's one of those things where it's like maybe years ago it was like kind of like a fun topic to joke about, but we're just at a point in society where not a laughing matter, and kind of a crazy one. Just a wild one to get dropped in the middle of February.
Crazy.
So now we know. Hanley Ramirez.
Thank you to the Section 10 podcast.
I know.
That's huge.
Keeping everybody safe. So phenomenal podcast. All right, another crazy story came up. Nick Castellanos was released by the Phillies. Actually, they told him just not to report to spring training. And he's had an up and down relationship with the club. Apparently, stemming back to last summer. I mean, Castellanos, he had been benched because he wasn't playing as well. Not a good defender, so it's like when he's not hitting, he's not providing value. Apparently, there was an incident last summer, a game in Miami. He was pulled from a game for a pinch hitter, goes to the clubhouse, pissed. He's livid to get yanked from the game. He feels embarrassed. And he gets himself a beer, brings in the dugout. It was a Presidente, which I was not familiar with that. Apparently, other players snatched it out of his hands. It was a whole issue. He had to apologize to the team after. But he put out a handwritten note describing the incident. So that's kind of the beginning of the fallout. Nick Castellanos with the Phillies. What do you think of this move? Pinch hit for and just goes to crack a beer in the dugout.
I mean, it's like you ask these guys to stay level-headed, take a deep breath before they respond. The guy did what he knows best. He went back. He got a little stress reliever. He was already out of the game at this point. Let the guy have a beer on this, in the dugout. There's a lot worse things that you can do. Half the MLB is on tobacco at all times anyway. That's a stimulant. Why not get a depressant like alcohol in there, lower the steam a little bit, let the guy cool down, and also he just is doing what every other American loves to do, which is crack a cold one and watch a live baseball game. So I think it's ridiculous that he's getting kicked off the Phillies for this. Let the guy have fun.
Yeah, I had no problem with it. It's like in baseball, once you're yanked from the game, you're out. So it's not like he was going to go back in. I say, yeah, it might be a bad look. You see him drinking alcohol in the dugout. I don't care. That should be a commonplace thing. Like one of the most overhyped stories in baseball in recent memory, the 2011 Red Sox had a September collapse, and all the talk afterwards was, ooh, chicken and beer, chicken and beer. They became infamously known as the Red Sox chicken and beer team because apparently starting pitchers who weren't pitching that day were in the dugout, getting fucked up, playing video games, watching the NFL, and eating Popeyes. And I say, who cares? They weren't pitching that day. Like, as if that affected the outcomes of the games. Let these guys have a grand old time. I mean, it's 162 3-hour affairs. If you're not going to the game, let them get fucked up. And yeah, they're all buzzing on nicotine. They're eating food during the game. Like, it's a wild sport.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. They're 162 days out of the year they have to go and work. So, I mean, you're telling me that some of these accountants that are watching this podcast aren't drinking during work?
Right.
I mean, you're telling me that, every single safety crossing officer in front of an elementary school isn't drinking at work? I mean, the fact that you would expect these MLB players who are getting paid more than those other professions to also not drink at work, it just seems like an expectation that's set way too high for these guys. If they want a Presidente and they're a little pissed, let them drink it during work.
Yeah. Like, I would rather a guy blow off some steam by having a beer in the dugout versus blowing up at his teammates, the manager. So
it's like, what drug could he have done to stay there? Because, there's famous stories of MLB pitchers doing LSD before a game and throwing a perfect game, and that is celebrated in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So God forbid this guy has one Presidente beer during a game. I just think it's hypocrisy at an all-time high.
Yeah, it was crazy. So Nick Castellanos released from the Phillies, ending a successful run.
Tough. I mean, who do you think picks him up? Anyone?
I think I'm hearing he might land in San Diego.
Okay.
So the guy, he can hit.
Way more
Guy
chill
can hit.
place.
Yeah, chill place. Yeah, maybe there'll be
He might like that.
that'd be great.
He doesn't have to live in Philly. He gets to live in San Diego. That's good.
Pretty good trade-off right there. All right, next story I wanted to get to, I thought this was hilarious. The White Sox general manager, Chris Getz, he's been on an all-time media run. They recently swung a trade with the Mets. In the trade, they received Mets prospect Luis Angel Acuna. He's the younger brother of Ronald Acuna. And this guy, Chris Getz, White Sox GM, he's gone on a media tour. In 4 separate interviews has referenced this guy Acuna being a switch hitter. And it turns out he's not a switch hitter. He just bats right-handed. And I don't think it's that big of a deal, but just how much of a clown franchise are these crazy White Sox? Like,
Well, I mean, Chicago's little brother is just having a tough time right now. I mean, the fact that this guy's getting in front of people continuously saying a switch hitter, it's not even something you need to reference anyway when talking about him. But then for it to be wrong as well, it's like, what kind of program were we running?
yeah, I think because it'd be one thing if it were the same interview and he just said
Sure.
it over and over again. But when I realized it was 4 separate interviews with different outlets, it's also like, if the guy can play, he can play. Like, it doesn't really matter if he's right-handed or a switch hitter.
Right.
But the fact that this guy's making a point to bring it up, like, it almost seems like him being a switch hitter was a big part of the reason the White Sox were interested. Some Mets fans even have a theory that they think he thought he was trading for a completely different player.
It could be.
Like, there's another guy in their Mets minor league system they think fits the profile. It is just, I mean,
Well, and also, where's the media team to tell him that he's making that mistake after the 3rd time? You'd think they'd be like, hey, like just before the next press conference, the guy, he's not a switch hitter. So
yeah, it really is crazy. So it's like just when you think like a GM job's out of reach, I mean, who knows? It's like they'll let anyone do these jobs.
as long as you don't take paternity leave, I think you can get a GM job in any sport these days.
Yeah. So that was a pretty hilarious one. Probably gonna be another long season for the White Sox.
Oh, yeah.
But we're here for all of it. Yeah, last big thing in baseball, we're going to have another rule change coming up this season. I'm pretty excited for it. It's the automatic balls and strikes system. So each team, they'll have 3 challenges per game. I think you get another if you're right. I don't know, something like that. But are you excited to see this?
No, I am not. I think, the art of baseball when I grew up and play was catchers having that relationship with an umpire understanding how a catcher receives the ball in terms of him being an extra framer than other catchers, and there's an art behind it. So the fact that we're just removing all of that nuance and skill of tricking the umpires into thinking it's a strike or a ball, it's just kind of disappointing. That is the human element that made baseball great, and now it is just becoming a video game, and I don't like it. I don't want to see the squares. I don't want to see where the ball is. I don't want to know miles per hour all the time. I just want to watch good old-fashioned baseball. Let these players play. Let the umps ump. At some point, there's not even going to be a point to have the ump. If you're going to go this route, again, we just said this in an NFL take too. It's like, let's make it either all or nothing. Everything is digital and everything's just 100% accurate all the time, or we're going to let the human element play into the game. This challenge bullshit's just going to drag the game on even more. I'm not here for it, and it now becomes a strategy of when to use your challenge, just like it is in the NFL. I don't like that strategy because I think you're trying to eliminate the human element from having an effect in the game by then adding another human element of, should I use the challenge? Should I not? Should I save it? Blah, 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 blah. I don't like it. I think baseball should be a purist sport. Keep computers out of baseball.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's kind of a half measure. It's like, if you're going to do the automatic balls and strikes, you should just do it on every pitch, because there are a few issues with it. Like, sometimes the ump sets his own strike zone. So if he's calling a pitch, an inch and a half off the plate, a strike all day, then, what if he calls it strike, then you use your review, it's a ball. It's like, it feels kind of inconsistent. So that part's a little odd, but I think it's going to be kind of hilarious just to see guys look stupid when they mess it up, because the catcher can challenge, the pitcher can challenge, the batter can challenge. There are going to be guys where they are insisting, no, that's not a strike. And then the replay will show, no, the entire ball is on the plate, dude. Like, you look like a clown. One situation they absolutely do need this for, because framing is a big part of the game. The amount of times I saw when a runner is stealing a base, a pitch right down the middle, but the catcher stands up to catch the ball and make their throw to second. The ump just calls it a ball because he lost his frame of reference, the guy standing up. That's what this is for. Like, that's the exact type of pitch you need this on. I mean, I saw multiple pitches right down the middle, just ball. It's like, We got to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, and my theory to fix that is better training by umpires, but your theory is computers. I just disagree with computers at all.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, the changes in baseball in recent years have been incredible. I mean, we all love the pitch clock. It's just
That I do love.
it's just made the game so much more digestible. I think the one thing about the pitch clock, so I love it when I'm watching on TV, kind of a bummer when you're at the game in person, because I feel like it used to be like, you almost kind of liked when the game would drag out when you go to a game. It would be like, you get to the park, especially if you're traveling a long way to get to the game. It's like,
a good
all right,
point.
I got a good 3 hours here. Now, sometimes the game moves fast, and it's like, usually they cut off beer sales after the bottom of the seventh. You got to be putting in work if you want to get to beer number 4. Like, you got to work fast.
Well, the amount of trips that you have to take to the vendor to get these beers, because they only let you get 2 at a time. If you're trying to put back any cold ones during the game, I mean, yeah, to your point, it's a marathon, which actually, according to my wife, gets me drunk faster if I'm trying to drink extra fast, and I end up drinking more. So, if the MLB thought this was a good thing for fans in person, the pitch clock, you're right. It is one of the all-time worst things that could happen to drinking at the ball game, because now you are forced to just chug your beers. And honestly, that's no way to enjoy a ball game. I want to sit back, relax, have a couple hot dogs, and 13 to 50 beers.
Yeah, it is crazy. And it's funny, when they first introduced the pitch clock, a lot of teams were reporting that their concession revenue is down. Like, lesser time at the ballpark, it was really cutting their beer sales. So the Milwaukee Brewers briefly tried, all right, we're going to sell beer through the bottom of the 8th inning. And after a short amount of time, they had to go back on that. But I've always thought it's kind of funny.
Do we know why?
I'm not entirely
Too
sure.
many DUIs?
I think kind of a liability issue. But
Yeah.
to me, I've always thought that's kind of nuts. It's just like, wait, the fan going to the game drinking, they should know that you're not supposed to drive home drunk. Like, is it the bar's fault if someone gets in their car and drives home drunk? Like,
Yes,
it's
legally.
I just think it's crazy to me. It's just like, the Milwaukee Brewers should not have to teach people that they shouldn't be driving home from the game drunk.
I agree with that, but also it's funny just in general, like the amount that I'm drinking at the ball game, whether I stop in the bottom of the 6th or the bottom of the 8th, has no bearing on if I should be driving a car, because I should not be driving a car, period, after a baseball game. Just, there's no way. I mean, you could stop me probably after the bottom of 3, and I'm still needing an Uber for the next 10 hours. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those liability things, but there's no actual data to suggest that cutting people off an inning earlier prevents any deaths or DUIs or any of that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I don't know. We like a lot of the changes that have been made to baseball. So
I feel like baseball's heading in the right direction.
it really is. I mean, in a time where NBA could not be bothered to do anything to improve the product for their fans, baseball has come in and said, no, we got to change.
Yep.
So I think there's 2 sports heading in completely opposite directions.
Yeah, go MLB, man. I am happy to see America's sport come back to the forefront.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So definitely more baseball to come. Excited for spring training. Excited for a lot this season.
Well, and we're right in the thick of it, man, down here in St. Pete, Florida. I mean, we got the Yankees, Phillies, we got the Pirates, we got the Blue Jays,
Orioles, Braves,
Tigers. I mean, you're about to see a lot of people from the Northeast come down to visit Florida to watch some spring baseball.
Yeah. A lot of excitement here at the Grapefruit League.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Most of the West Coast Florida. Yeah. That's it for baseball. Let's get back to the NFL. I mean, we've been NFL heavy
Let's do it.
this season. Here's a big picture topic. This came up near the end of last season. It's no secret the NFL wants to go to 18 games. And it sounds like they eventually want to do 18 games, 16 playoff teams, 8 per conference. So we're talking 4 division winners, 4 wild cards. In this scenario, no first-round bye, and probably the entire league has a bye week between the end of the regular season and the playoffs. How do we feel with this? 18 games, an expanded playoff field.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think the NFL has the right amount of games right now. And I like the current system. You know, fighting for that 1 seed to get a bye is a huge deal. And that's why you see these best teams continue to play hard throughout the end of the season. So you remove that incentive from these guys, you're going to see different strategies and less competitive games down the stretch. This year was a great example. Going into the last week of the season this year, we had some absolute bangers of games. There was a stretch the last 3 weeks of the regular season all the way through the Super Bowl where every single week you couldn't have asked for better games on the TV. I feel like just giving any scenario to possibly ruin that kind of competitiveness just puts you into the class of what's happened in the NBA. Watch the NBA, and you tell me, do you think that the fans want to watch little babies cry and bitch and not try? No, they don't. They want games that are meaningful, and they want teams to be rewarded for trying hard through the end of the season. I think this could not be a worse idea.
Yeah, I don't like this idea at all. And honestly, I would go back to the way things were about 5 years ago when it was 16 games and 12 playoff teams. Getting rid of the bye is a critical mistake. Like, you want there to be tiers of things that you're fighting for. Yes, home field matters, but if there's no real difference between the 1 seed and the 8 seed, you're just heading towards the NBA-ification of the NFL. And part of what makes the NFL so good is the scarcity. Like, less is more. It's right now there are only 17 regular season games. Each one matters. It's like if you get to the point where there's 18 games, if there's a dominant team like the Chiefs, 18 games, 8 playoff spots per conference, that's half the league making it. It's like you can be 0-3 and say, we'll be fine. We'll be good enough. We'll get in as an 8 seed. Like, you don't want that. It's what makes the NFL so good. Every game matters. And also, the last thing we want is imagine load management seeping into the NFL. Like, that's another thing that's great. I mean, unless your arm is falling off, you're expected to play. Like,
That's
guys
right.
expect to play hurt all the time. So are we going to get to the point where Josh Allen is load managing just because the Bills don't want him to play in all 18 games? Even now, I think there are probably too many games. Like, sometimes you'll see teams players break down by the end of the season. I don't know. I just think NFL's got to be careful here.
NFL's got to be careful. They're treading very dicey waters.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. Before we get into the next thing, I wanted to kind of address this situation going on in New England.
Yep.
So obviously, big loss.
Sure.
Big loss for you guys. Your left tackle.
Yep.
What's his name?
Will Campbell.
Will Campbell. Okay, I need to address this. So, Will Campbell, we were rightfully dogging this guy 3 weeks before the Super Bowl. He is a giraffe on skates. He's not built to play left tackle in the NFL. This guy has none of the physical abilities to play left tackle in the NFL. We knew that. But now, after the game, he waits a day, doesn't talk to the press right after the game, waits a day. You know, he gives this press conference or an interview where he's basically saying, oh, I should have done better, taking the fake accountability. And then he goes and says, I did have a torn ligament in my leg. Come on, man. You're supposed to be taking accountability, and you're supposed to have us believe that just magically you suddenly have a torn ligament. He wasn't on any of the pregame injury reports, and now he's coming out and saying that he has a torn ACL, MCL, or something in his knee, and we're supposed to feel bad for him as if that's why he played so bad. Will Campbell is clearly an immature guy. He's a young guy. Hopefully he can fix this mentality, because right now he is the joke of the league for left tackles, and I would be surprised to see this guy's career turn anywhere but dark from here on out. I feel bad for the guy, but you can't come out and not take accountability and blame it on your knee. You played like shit. Own up to it. Get better. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I didn't love to see it. It's like we saw it both from Will Campbell and Drake May. It's like they kind of really wanted the world to know that they weren't 100%. And I just think no one wants to hear that. Like, especially outside of New England. It's just, at this point in the season, everyone's playing hurt. Especially in May's situation, it's like, okay, we get your shoulder's not 100%. Everyone can see it. Sam Darnold's playing with a torn oblique. So it's just, that's the reality of the NFL. It's the reality when you make it this far. People don't want to hear excuses. Yeah, Will Campbell. I'm also like, if he was playing on a torn MCL, partially torn MCL, I feel like they would have been better off with a backup in. And it's almost like, it's not like benching a quarterback where it's like, oh my God, you're making a scene. It's just like, the whole country reacts to it. I feel like you could have your backup left tackle and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Say, you know what? Our backup gives us a better chance than Will Campbell with torn ligaments.
Well, yeah, and if you're not like telling and being honest with your coach and your offensive line coach and your head coach and saying, hey, I'm too banged up to go, then you're actually doing your team a disservice by staying in the game injured and playing that bad. So your whole excuse and trying to be like the tough guy and get the fans on your side, like, oh, he played through an injury. No, dude, you actually let your team down by lying about how much the injury was affecting you. So if you couldn't go at 100%, you should have let your backup go in there and do a better job, because it cost the Patriots the chance to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
And a lot of people are saying now, they're like, oh, he should be moved to guard, maybe move him across to right tackle. We need a new left tackle. It's like, look, I'm all for that, but sometimes the way people talk about building football teams is crazy. It's like, oh, get a tackle. Get an offensive line. They need a line. It's like every team in the league wants that. There are 32 teams. There are probably about 12 guys who can play left tackle adequately. So I think they're stuck with Will Campbell because I don't think they're going to have a clear opportunity to upgrade. But I'm all for moving him around because, I mean, there is, outside of quarterback, I don't know if there's a more important spot on the field.
No, agreed.
So, yeah, good point on Will Campbell
I
there.
had to get into that.
No, it's I don't know. I think the Patriots' stock has fallen nationally, and I think rightfully so.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, so, I've been seeing a lot on Twitter, just kind of like this crazy ascension into getting into Twitter arguments to try to stay relevant, which is Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner is now picking fights with just random people on Twitter 24/7 to just basically boost his own personal shows. And it seems like such a fall from winning a Super Bowl MVP, which he didn't do, but also to just now trolling people to like get attention on your shitty podcast. It's just sad to see. It's sad to see a guy go from being the top of the world in the NFL as a starting quarterback to now just trolling like lesser people online. And he's like 50 and has 3 kids, so it's just a weird thing to do.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of Kurt Warner. It's like his career arc is bizarre because he was an underdog, had an incredible career, wins a Super Bowl, goes to others. But now in the aftermath, he is just the saltiest bitch on the internet. Like, you would have thought this guy's career panned out totally differently than it did. I don't know what his deal is. It's also, he's one of these athletes who just thinks they're the smartest guy in the room. Like, it's like, no. Listen to me. No, dude, you have CTE like everyone else. I'm not a Kurt Warner guy. Also, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, Kurt Warner, man, you are making a fool of yourself online. So cool it down, take it easy, and honestly, get a life. Enjoy your money and move on, buddy.
Yeah. Not a big Kurt Warner guy. Yeah. All right, elsewhere in the NFL has banned the NFLPA team report cards being released. This was a thing over the last few years that the NFLPA would do. They would do these surveys, poll the players on what are the working conditions like?
Yeah.
How's your training facility? Do they provide childcare? How's the food? And we would get some interesting insight. It would be released every year. And, I mean, there were some funny things we would learn about these teams. Kind of gave insight into just how cheap a lot of these owners are. The owners are sick of it. So the NFL has now banned these results from being able to be released to the public. The NFLPA will still do the survey, but the results won't go public. What do we think of this?
Oh, man, there's nothing more I love than public shame. So when these report cards would come out and you'd see people like the Chiefs, who had just won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, come out with Fs and D minuses, man, it made you feel good as a team, who, yeah, you might have sucked, but hey, good thing your locker room and the food you give your players is A+. So I loved these report cards, but it is kind of wild that they were public in the first place because, as being an employee of a corporation, as you are as well, we all know, and anyone who has a brain on them knows, that any of these surveys that your company sends out that are quote unquote anonymous, you have to basically give A+ for everything in fear of it being used against you in the future. I just do not believe that any survey that gets sent out from a manager could possibly be fully anonymous. There's so many ways on the back end to track what people say and who says it. So, just a tidbit of advice out there for anyone who gets sent a survey and thinks, oh, my company actually wants to hear what I have to say. No, they don't. Your managers probably get bonused on the results of that survey. So if they get survey results that are so bad that they don't get their bonus, they will hunt down the people that they think filled out the bad survey, even if they don't have access to it, and they will penalize you. It will not improve your life by telling the truth. Just fake it. Give all A+. It's not going to help you if you put something bad on there. Nothing good will change. So I think it is crazy that they even did have them publicly out there, but it was a joy as a fan to see these report cards. I will miss them.
Yeah. No, it was really cool. And the NFLPA, they even said that over the years, it led to teams having to improve working conditions. Like, public embarrassment actually was really the best remedy. One of my favorite ones over the years, it was the Kansas City Chiefs. And this was when they were ripping off Super Bowl wins. Really bad working conditions. Players did not like the locker rooms. They said they had very uncomfortable chairs. Not like the fine lawn chairs we're sitting in now, because they're very comfortable. But the players didn't like the chairs. Chiefs ownership said, all right, we're going to work in the locker room in the offseason. We're going to get you guys more comfortable chairs. The Chiefs go back-to-back. They go on their great Super Bowl run, win their second championship in a row, and the team says, yeah, we're going to get you guys new chairs, but we can't because you went too far in the playoffs, so we didn't have enough time in the offseason. It's just like even the best operations on the field, these successful franchises raking in the cash, I mean, they're cheaper than you'd ever imagine. So I think they're absolutely hilarious. And I agree with you. No survey is ever anonymous. Like, I loved filling one out for work. It was on a scale of 1 to 10. Do you agree with this statement? And then one of the questions was, I believe this survey is truly anonymous. I think I put like 7. I was like, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like we're playing mind games now.
Oh my God. Yeah, those surveys are just hilarious. And, it is really funny though when a manager will try to you just see them being nice to the team though. They're like, hey guys, you're going to see in your inbox, it's a totally anonymous survey. The goal of the survey is obviously for you guys and, just to see what we can improve on for you guys. And it's like, you can't sell a salesman. You can't bullshit a bullshitter, right? It's like, you haven't been nice to me all year long, and now you're just suddenly nice the morning of the survey being sent. Maybe, and this is just a thought, if you were just nice all the time and actually cared, then you wouldn't have to reach out the morning of the survey because you would just get a good survey. So it's a classic example of corporate hilariousness. We love corporate hilariousness, though. Without it, the United States would not spin the way it does.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. And it sounds like the good thing is the NFLPA is still going to do these report cards.
That is good.
So we probably still will hear about some of the results.
It'll get leaked.
Things will get leaked.
Yeah.
So it won't be as accessible, but yeah, not really going anywhere, which is hilarious. All right. The Bears are moving to Iowa. The Bears will be moving to Iowa. I never thought I'd see the day. Who saw this coming?
Well, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the state and the city have just completely fallen apart politically, financially, crime-wise. I mean, Chicago, people are getting stabbed on the streets 2-3 times a month, and no one's doing a damn thing about it. So, if I'm a Chicago Bears player, I'm pumped. I would rather live in Iowa than I would Chicago.
Yeah, this is a tough one because Iowa's not even really that close to Chicago.
No,
it's
like
not. When we first heard that the Bears want to move to Indiana, it's like, all right, they'll still play in the Chicago Metro. It's just across the state line. I mean, Iowa having a Big Four sports team. This is a crazy development. Who would have thought one of the iconic franchises relocating out of Chicago?
I love it.
We got to do a wellness check on our friend Andrew. I mean, he loves the Chicago Bears. I don't know. Will he stay a fan of the Iowa Bears? That also just sounds like minor league baseball. It reminds me of the Iowa Cubs.
I love this. I am all here for it. And finally, when Chicago gets a good team, they leave the city.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Perfect.
All right. Another story that broke last week. We have a second 49ers player getting shot in San Francisco. Defensive end Keon White was shot in the ankle. It marks the second time in a year and a half that a 49ers player has been shot in the home city. What's going on in San Fran? They got players getting shot, electrical substations frying their soft tissues. I mean, bad time to be a 49er.
It's a bad time to be a 49er. It's a bad time right before free agency comes out. You see everything that's going on in the San Francisco area. And honestly, if you can't keep your players safe, both literally on the field and off the field, it's going to be tough to draw any talent in there. I know a guy like Christian McCaffrey who turns out his Wi-Fi every night just to stay healthy and be peak performance, is not pumped about all this news that's coming out. So I think you're going to see Kittle. I think you're going to see McCaffrey. I think you're going to see Purdy. All these big-time names start to really question if San Francisco is the right place for them. Maybe Brandon Ayuk was just a step ahead of everything that was going on.
Yeah. It's like he saw the writing on the wall. This is not the place to be. I don't know.
He's a safety guy.
He really is. Yeah, San Francisco's crazy. I think the first time I went out there, I was about 10 years old, and I didn't know much about the world. But I just remember thinking, there's a lot of homeless people. Like, it stuck out. It's too bad. Place has a ton of potential.
Oh my God, it's one of the coolest cities in terms of the architecture, the old buildings with the new. The amount of money there is absolutely insane. All these tech companies around as well. So it really does have a lot of potential. But my God, has Gavin Newsom let that place go to absolute shit? And I mean shit literally. There's a shit app where you can track where live human shit is on the road in San Francisco. There's entire streets that are pretty much untenable at the moment to even walk down, and some of them are in front of schools, and poor kids have to walk to school while people are shooting up heroin. So yeah, San Francisco, not a good look right now. If I'm California, I'm thinking, how can we turn this around? And their answer is by just taxing anyone over $1 billion, basically just 5% in their entire net worth, even on unrealized unrealized stock gains, which is absolutely insane. So I think they are going about this all wrong. San Francisco is in the dumps right now. Florida, Texas, the Carolinas, these are the places where businesses and people are flocking to. And it's not because of conservative values or Christian values or any of that. It's just because people want to live their life without being told by the government that they're doing it shitty. And that's why you see a lot of these billionaires who used to be, some of the biggest donors on the left now exiting these leftist cities and states because, well, you're going to see it in New York happen pretty soon too with Mondami out there. But anyway, I know we kind of got off subject, but governments can't be telling people what to do, man.
No, I like it. It's like California has so much potential. It's a natural beauty, but I mean, they have no water. There's, open drug use is crazy. You'll buy a $6 million home, and then you'll have a guy doing heroin and taking a shit right in front of your house. And it's like, when did these things become democratic values? It's just like, oh yeah, open drug use, people shitting on the ground. Yeah, people robbing Target, breaking into your... Well, that's the Democrat... Since when? Like, why the hell are we protecting this?
Yeah, it's called empathetic suicide. And what happens is you have these people on the left who now are a little bit more extreme. All of these intentions were good going into it. When they changed a lot of these laws, it was because they actually were nice people. So they did care about these homeless people, and they saw these homeless people getting arrested, when they had these camps and stuff. And they thought, oh, you know what? Like, these are, people down on their luck. We shouldn't just arrest them, put them in prison. We should make it unenforceable to just take them off of the streets if they're camping overnight. And that was like the first thing they did. Well, that didn't work. In fact, pretty much all the homeless people in the entire United States were like, oh, perfect. Like, we'll move to California then, since you're not going to arrest us for being homeless. That's perfect. And then they were like, hey, let's decriminalize like some of the drugs, and let's also like provide as much Narcan as possible. And then the homeless people and drug addicts were like, now I can do drugs on the streets too, so like this is even better. And then they're like, oh, prostitution, well, it's the women's rights, it's really about the women. Oh,
sure.
Well, actually, it turns out these women just turning tricks to get enough money for drugs. And so it's like just all these things that seemed good on the surface, like actually good human values, which I can get up for, right? There's an argument to be made for a lot of that, but things sounding good in your head and then actually in practice working in a society, two completely different things.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, wild times in California, wild times the 49ers. They're kind of crossroads. But I think we got to look back at this past NFL season. It's like, I was going to say we do best and worst predictions of this past season, but the more I think all of our predictions were terrible. I don't know if there are any best predictions.
I mean, I think we were pretty accurate on Seahawks and the Rams being good all year long.
That's one thing we were on very soon.
Very early.
I rewatched our first episode. We both liked the Rams a lot.
Yeah.
Even before the season.
So I think we were pretty good with the Seahawks and the Rams. I think obviously the AFC was tough, but I mean, I don't think anyone predicted what was going on in the AFC.
No one was talking Denver. No one was talking New England. No. It's funny, even as Pats fan, I said that anyone who on TV calling them a playoff team just had no clue how shitty the roster was. Who knew?
No one knew, and that's why, if you did know, we wouldn't need jobs because we would just predict and buy lottery tickets.
That's a good point.
Predicting is tough. Being on a podcast and sharing your feelings publicly is tough. But I'll tell you what, one thing we did I think, well all season long is we held everyone accountable.
That's
You
true.
know, like I held, a good example is another great call of mine was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
You know, I said that if Tyreek Hill keeps acting like this and keeps being a little bitch, that he deserves to have a season-ending injury, and I hope his leg breaks in half. Well, a couple weeks later, his leg literally snapped in half. And yeah, am I proud of calling that one? No, I'm not. Was I right, though? I absolutely was. I couldn't have been more right. So that's my proudest prediction I have of the year was Tyreek Hill breaking his leg in half. It then happened a couple weeks after I said that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of injury where you say you never want to see that happen to someone. I think there was one guy in the NFL who you'd want that to happen to, and it did. So,
and
hell of
then
a
for
prediction.
anyone who's going to push back on that, just go look at what this guy has done to women in his life who are moms of his children. I mean, he basically just beats the shit out of them, allegedly. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to stick up for a guy who's just a piece of shit like that. He deserves everything that he's gotten. Another thing that I say, not predicted, but I was kind of on the right train. All year long, people in New England were very high on Stephon Diggs, always a leader of the team. He's a veteran, blah, blah, blah. No, I knew he was a piece of shit the whole time. Cardi B figured out he's a piece of shit, broke up with his ass. This guy's been cheating on every single girl that he's ever met, and now he's facing federal strangulation charges for strangling his chef, allegedly, who's a female. And I'm not surprised by any of it. So he went from riding high, married, about to marry and have a baby with one of the largest superstars in the world and being in the Super Bowl, to losing the Super Bowl, breaking up with that girl, and now literally appearing in court for a federal strangulation charge. I was on that all year long. And I always point back to a video that they did in Minnesota where the players went around the locker room and they said, hey, who would you least like to date your sister? And every single one of those players, without even thinking about it, said Stephon Diggs. And so, yeah, the guy has been a piece of shit since day one in the NFL, and I don't think he'll ever stop being a piece of shit. I don't like Stephon Diggs. Tyreek Hill, suck it.
Yeah, crazy with Diggs. Also, I mean, he's been doing this back to his Buffalo days, but a complete no-show in the playoffs.
No-show.
Like, this guy just disappears down the stretch. I think there's a thing in Buffalo, you call him December Diggs, where the guy just goes away. So
That's what he is.
Crazy stuff. I think we'll see. We'll continue to monitor the situation. I think there's a good chance he's not back with the Patriots next season.
I agree.
So that was wild. I'm trying to think. One prediction I really got wrong. I was dead wrong about Ben Johnson, the Chicago Bears. Like, one of our first short clips, I was like, you know who's going to suck? I was sitting in this exact seat. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and the Chicago Bears. Now, Caleb Williams does suck. Still not a good player. He's got a ton to improve on. But I was so wrong about Ben Johnson. You know, sometimes, every few years, there's just a coordinator who people will not shut up about. And it's like, holy crap, I need to hate you now. Your name has been shoved down my throat. Now I hate, I feel like the flavor of the week is Clint Kubiak. Like, don't you feel like you just heard the name Clint Kubiak? It's like, oh my God, shut up. Maybe he'll be a great coach. Probably not, because he's going to the Raiders. But this Ben Johnson, I thought he was just some complete nerd who, belongs working in an Excel spreadsheet, can't relate to the players. No, he's ripping his shirt off. He's getting the boys fired up. I don't know. I was dead wrong on Ben Johnson. I did not see the Bears being a playoff team.
And to your point, you're comparing it to like someone like Mike McDaniel, and you see a guy who's a nerd. He's really good at calling offensive plays, but he's not a good leader of men. And so you look at someone like Ben Johnson. You're like, hey, can this guy lead a group of men? Listen, he's not Dan Campbell. He's not Mike Vrabel. It's hard to lead these guys without having the past experience of being a player in the NFL as well. So you'll see a guy like Kubiak struggle in Oakland to kind of relate to his players. But yeah, we both went heavy against Chicago for a while. So I would say we both fucked up on that one royally.
Yeah. And I think just another way I fucked up when we give our predictions at the beginning of the season, I predicted a Super Bowl rematch and result. I said, give me Philly over the Chiefs again. And I made the classic mistake a lot of sports fans make in just thinking the next season will unfold exactly how the last one did. Like, I just looked at the teams and just thought whoever was good last season, they're always surprise teams. They're always surprise teams who suck. I mean, this past season was one of the wilder ones. So I was thinking maybe we could make some way too early 2026 Super Bowl picks and maybe learn a little something from our shitty picks this last time around.
Yeah, I mean, my way too early prediction for the 2026-2027 NFL season is the Buffalo Bills under first-year head coach Joe Brady go to the Super Bowl and absolutely dominate the Los Angeles Rams in Matthew Stafford's last ever NFL football game, where Sean McVay ends up crying on the field and Josh Allen puts an entire city on his shoulders and brings Buffalo to the ascension that they deserve. That is my way too early NFL prediction for next season.
Yeah. I'm thinking Los Angeles as well. I'm going the Rams over the Ravens. Way too early pick. I think we both like the Rams a lot. They were so close. I mean, if things go another way against Seattle, they're probably hoisting the trophy. I think they make a move or two in the offseason, get aggressive, try to get over the hump. Assuming Stafford's playing the best ball of his career, it seems like he might have kind of like an Elway thing going. I know he's won a Super Bowl where it's almost like his best years are potentially his final years because he might only have one or two left. Then on the other side, I look back at what Mike McDonald did in Seattle, and I feel like every once in a while there will be a new coach that's hired, and it's just like, who the fuck is this? Who are you, dude? And when the Ravens fired John Harbaugh and hired Jesse Minter, the Chargers defensive coordinator, I was like, what? I don't know anything about this guy. But I'm kind of optimistic about it. It's just like, who the hell? There's going to be some coach who we don't know anything about who ends up being boy genius. Maybe they just need a little shakeup in Baltimore. I don't know. Talent's there.
No, they do have a good football team, and if you get Lamar Jackson healthy for the entire season, get him playing football right, maybe putting him in positions where he doesn't have to win the game fully on his own shoulders and give the ball to, I don't know, Derrick Henry. Get Derrick Henry in like a nice secondary back as well to give him a little bit more break so he's healthy at the end of the season. But I think the Ravens are a good football team. I think that's a good call. My other prediction for next year that will kind of go probably as one of the most surprising teams of the year is there's a guy named Todd Monken. And he was kind of a joke of this NFL hiring process. And the Cleveland Browns have been just kind of a joke all along.
Yep.
But I would not doubt if you get Monken in there, you pair him up with Shedeur Sanders in his second year, you actually give him the proper reps and training he needs with the first team. And I would not be surprised if the Cleveland Browns make the playoffs in the 2026-2027 NFL season under first-year head coach Todd Monken, and Shedeur Sanders ends up being in the MVP talks. Just in the MVP talks. I don't think he's going to win MVP. But Cleveland, I think you guys are in good hands. Your defense is going to be unstoppable next year. But watch out for this talented young roster in Cleveland.
Yeah. And if we're giving out bold predictions for 2026 season, here's one. Number 1 seed in the NFC. How about the New York Giants? I think a big turnaround is coming for these Giants. Jackson Dart, even though I think he's a tool and he's annoying and his chain looks stupid, he showed a lot of potential. He plays fearless. Malik Neighbors is going to be coming back. Abdul Carter is a hell of a talent. If he can get his head screwed on straight, they got Brian Burns. And now they're going to have competent coaching for the first time in a while. John Harbaugh coming in. Plus, the Giants, they had a bad season. They're going to get that last place schedule. Watch out for the G-men. It's like, does this sound absurd? Yes. Will it happen? Of course not. But who the hell thought, if I said a year ago that we were talking about the Seahawks and Broncos as the top seeds,
No one would
or the
believe you.
Patriots as a 2 seed in the Super Bowl, it's like, yeah, of course this sounds dumb now, but something you don't even fucking expect will happen. What about the Giants?
I think it's good, man. You didn't even mention Cam Scadaboo's probably going to come back from injury as well. That guy's a little beast, a little speed demon.
He'll have his moments.
He'll have his moments, but yeah, I don't think it's unrealistic. I think the Browns and the Giants might be better than people are giving them credit.
Absolutely will be. Yeah. So crazy stuff. It's who the hell knows what's going to happen in the offseason, but I don't know. We just can't get enough football, so we're already kind of looking ahead.
Stay with us every week. Listen, we're going to be following this offseason with a fine-tooth comb. We're going to be analyzing everything. No one gives better takes because the amount of time and effort right now, one of the reasons we might be moving to, more of like the one podcast a week kind of rhythm and schedule, is really because we're going to be in the film room watching college football tape because we got to see what's going on for this NFL draft. Todd McShay gets a lot of credit for being known as the guy who takes the time to watch this film, but you'll be surprised if me and Andy if we put our noses to the grindstone, we might just have the best mock draft in lawn chair sports history this year.
Yeah. I mean, when we're not in front of the microphone, we are in the film room. We're grinding. So it's definitely stay with us for all the great draft coverage. All right, last on the list, we got we got a couple more things. One happy story, one sad story. All right. Robert Kraft has apparently installed a command center inside the Patriots Stadium that is tracking Jewish hate online and reporting the results to universities. Do you want to touch this one?
I do. I think, Robert Kraft has seen something that's been happening in America for a long time, which is Jewish people getting unwarranted hate at a level that doesn't seem to get the concern of any other group that is marginalized. And the fact that Robert Kraft has the balls, has the tenacity, has the wherewithal about him to make a command center, put it up in Foxborough, and ensure that these colleges know what the hell is going on, I commend the guy. I think it couldn't be better for the Jewish community. And to be perfectly honest, in a time right now where to be Jewish means to be hated, we need people like Robert Kraft out there fighting for Jewish kids who are going to school and getting bullied. There was a Super Bowl commercial that couldn't have been more accurate as to what goes on, which is a black kid basically standing up for a Jewish kid and them going side by side in love. And, there was some weird blue Post-it notes that were stuck on these children. I was the kid in school who would stick Post-it notes on people's backs without them noticing.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably write something on it. But, that commercial was touching to me because it seems like nowadays, at least for blacks and Jews, that they're putting the Post-it notes on the front. So at least they know that they're there and not embarrassed all day long. So I think Robert Kraft, doing God's work or, whatever God they believe in's work. And yeah, here's an idea. Just stop being mean to anyone. Don't be mean to Jews. Don't be mean to Muslims. Don't be mean to Christians. Don't be mean to black people. Don't be mean to Asian people. Don't be mean to Indian people. Don't be mean to white people. Don't be mean to anyone. Just go about your life. Do your job. Listen, none of us want to do anything that we have to do. But if we can all just band together and maybe just make it a little bit happier out there, it'll just make everyone's life a little bit better. I feel like you go to the grocery store nowadays, everyone's just in such a bad mood and so stressed. Just take a deep breath. Let's just have a beer. Let's be like, what's his name? Let's crack a Presidente.
Nick Castellanos, crack a Presidente.
Let's crack a Presidente. Let's take a deep breath. Let's not overhype everything. But yeah, is it weird that he's doing it in Foxborough in the stadium? Maybe. But someone's got to do it.
Yeah. No, it's like I will not tolerate any more Robert Kraft slander because people love to make fun of him for the rub and tug at Orchids of Asia. This guy is making a difference in the world. It's like Robert Kraft, he put $15 million into funding that Super Bowl commercial with the Post-it note. So Robert Kraft, I mean, how can you not love this guy?
Bravo,
Mr.
Robert
Kraft.
Yes.
So changing the world for a better place. All right, last up, it's a sad story, one that it cuts deep for me. The NCAA has denied Connor Stallion's suspension appeal. He is suspended from the NCAA for 8 years for his involvement in the alleged sign stealing situation at Michigan.
Well, and this is an absolute travesty to college football. Connor Stalions is a football guy. He did not cheat for the Michigan Wolverines. This guy has been basically used as a scapegoat. Ryan Day planted all of this evidence on the Michigan football program because Michigan beat the shit out of Ohio State for 2 years, even the year they won the national championship. And these Ohio State players, the fan base, they just can't get over Michigan being better than them. And so they will go to the lengths of paying these judges, paying the NCAA to make sure that Connor Stallion gets the blame for stuff that he didn't have anything to do. Everything he did was legal. It was by the books. It was just masterclass in stealing bad signs by an Ohio State football team that frankly had no business even competing against the Michigan Wolverines during this time. I think it's a travesty to Connor. I think it's a travesty to Michigan University. And I think it's a travesty to the entire state of Michigan. And honestly, the entire Big Ten and NCAA. Connor Stalions will go down as the guy who gets blamed for all of this, but had nothing to do with any of it.
Yeah. To me, this should be a black eye on Ryan Day's legacy because he couldn't get over the hump. He could never beat Michigan, and he has now completely soiled this Connor Stalions career. Like, if there's anyone who should be coaching a major Big Ten program, it's Connor Stalions, not Ryan Day, because at least he did it with integrity. This upsets me a ton. It's like this kid's got a ton of potential. He's gonna be out of the NCAA for at least 8 years, and it just annoys me so much when these topics come up. Sports fans talk about Michigan getting the signs, the Astros with their camera in center field, or the Patriots and Spygate. It's like, oh, the only ones that got the signs, only got the signs. It's like, if it's that easy, get on it then. Get those freaking signs. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, if you think that all you have to do is get the signs, then where's your Connor Stallions?
Right.
Where's your sideline guy? It's like, everyone's like, we can't be the Astros because they know the balls and strikes. It's like, dude, they're giving you the blueprint. Set up a freaking camera.
Yeah.
Look, and they didn't get in trouble for it. All right. What are we doing then?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of sounds like we're giving you the answers right now. So
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
it is just, especially with a lot of these sports that are so uneven, like, especially, I think the reaction to the Astros one is absurd because we heard Yankee and Dodger fans for years just cry about how the Astros screwed them. It's like, that is rich coming from a Dodger fan. There's no salary cap in baseball. The Dodgers are spending about 4 times as much as the next team, but then saying they don't have a fair shot because the Astros filmed their signs. It's like, yeah, no. Otherwise, this would have been such a level playing field, but the Astros are the ones making this shit unfair.
Also, you still have to hit the ball.
Yeah, it's...
I don't like it.
No,
But
so...
I feel bad for Connor Stallions. That sucks. 8 years is a long time to not coach in the NCAA. Hopefully, one of the Harbaugh brothers lets him get a chance in the NFL during this time.
Yeah, that would be a phenomenal pickup because he's got a lot of insight, and I would love to have him on the show. I would love to just pick his brain because I think he's got a fascinating story.
I think we can reach out to him.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Good idea.
I don't know. That's all I got for this week. It's a weird time in sports. Anything
It's a
else
weird
you want to
time,
add?
but I think it was a great podcast. I think people were entertained. I think we're back outside, back to our roots, out of the the stuffiness of that nice set.
Yeah.
But we will probably be back there next time because it's a lot harder to do the podcast outside because it's super windy. So hopefully that didn't mess up all the audio.
Yep.
But I think it probably didn't because these microphones are so expensive. But yet everyone thinks that podcasting equipment needs to be more expensive. So, jokes on them. It's expensive.
It's very expensive. It needs to be cheaper.
It does need to be cheaper so that all these people in the comments can talk into a microphone.
No, it's crazy. And it's funny just reading all the comments, everyone ripping us, saying we suck. It's like, do these people not realize we're in the top 100% of podcasts? So maybe think about that next time before you comment and call us a bunch of buffoons.
And we are the fastest growing sports podcast, but that's according to Spotify, not us.
Right. Yeah, we don't make these metrics.
So, all of you guys are like, oh, you're not actually the fastest growing sports podcast. No, we said it, therefore we are.
Yeah, take it up with Spotify.
Do we doctor some images with Gemini sometimes? Maybe. But AI is available to all of you, so you guys can do it too.
Seriously.
But no, I'm good. Let's cut it. We'll meet up next week and talk some NBA.
Can't wait for it.
All right, let's do it.